Well, Queen Camilla reportedly told her friend that Meghan Markle brainwashed Prince Harry. The explosive claims are detailed in a new book by Tom Bower, who alleges tensions were already spiralling just weeks after Harry and Meghan returned from their honeymoon in 2018, and that a supposedly conciliatory tea time meeting between Harry and his brother.
What if the love story the world believed wasn't what it seemed? Royal author Tom Bower has just made a shocking claim, suggesting that Meghan Markle may have completely influenced the life and decisions of Prince Harry. From stepping back from royal duties to explosive interviews and turning his back on the royal family, was it truly Harry's choice? Or is there a deeper story unfolding behind palace walls? Bower's statements are stirring major controversy, dividing royal fans across the world, with some defending Meghan and others questioning everything we thought we knew about their relationship. So what exactly did Tom Bower say, and how much of it could be true? Let's break it down.
4 years ago and talked about the circumstances around Megxit from his perspective and the people he'd spoken to. But in this case, as you say, it talked about this very tense meeting between Harry and his brother and Meghan and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, in which allegedly Meghan told William to get his finger out of her face, which you have to imagine was a very uncomfortable in-law conversation, and also really just speaks to the tension at the time. We know how it all ended. They left the royal family, but again, it just really highlights how awkward and uncomfortable things were getting in that lead up. It also talks a lot about, Tom Bower writes a lot about Harry in that era, and he says that Camilla at the time said that she felt he'd been brainwashed by Meghan. This has been a real narrative that was formed around that time of Megxit, where people that were close to Harry had told a number of media outlets they felt he'd changed. This is something that Tom Bower talks about here. And it, of course, as we know, Harry did leave the royal family, but he then later spoke about that era and said he'd always been feeling this tension and discomfort and had been looking for what his role in his life was going to be, and he was uncomfortable in the spare role. So I guess it depends who you're speaking to, but certainly in this case, Tom Bower makes it clear that the royal family were perhaps not overly enamored by Meghan at that time, and things really did just reach breaking point and were very uncomfortable behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, that's so clear, isn't it? It's like everything just blew up very, very quickly. And I'll point out, Bronte, because the Ginger and the Whinger, as I like to call them, they've released a statement in response to this. And it seems that this book's hit a raw nerve. A representative for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex said, quote, "From criticism into fixation, he has made a career out of constructing ever more elaborate theories about people he does not know and has never met. Those interested in facts will look elsewhere. Those seeking deranged conspiracy and melodrama know exactly where to find him." Whoa, Bronte, they sound panicked to me. What do you make of that response?
Well, there's some fighting words. You're absolutely right. I suppose you can't really blame them for coming out swinging at this point. They are very spicy terms, as you mentioned in this book, but at the same time, it's come at an unbelievably critical juncture for Harry and Meghan. Now, if you look at the lay of the land, they've just returned from this, I suppose, quasi-royal tour of Jordan. They're now spruiking this big trip to Australia, which is really, I suppose, intended at highlighting and platforming Meghan's lifestyle brand in Australia and globally. And the reality is, after just splitting with Netflix as their major partner for as ever, this is a really important time for her to push that business forward. And they are at this point where they're trying to look forward to what the next phase of their career is going to be, because a lot of their deals in the past have not landed where they wanted them to. We know that. I mean, the Netflix First Look deal has been sort of as spread as this as a good move for them both, but the reality is it is a climb down from what it was initially when they signed that a few years back. So when you look at this statement from their spokesperson in reaction to this book and the negative publicity that's surrounding it, it's not a surprise that they're coming out swinging. But at the same time, it's also going to be rehashing these old wounds when this book comes out, which is just an unbelievably painful time for both them and the royal family. And it really has come at a very bad time when they are trying to push forward and show that they are worth more than these negative interviews about the royal family that they became so famous for when they left.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's not like they're doing anything to help themselves. Let's be honest. Let's talk about this Australia trip. They're coming back down under for another fake royal tour of the world off the back of that bizarre Jordan tour the other week. And Bronte, congratulations to you, because you were the first journalist who broke the story that the Sussexes are coming to Australia. Great scoop. Why would they bother coming, do you think? Because when they came last time, this was, 7 years ago, Meghan referenced it as being a catalyst for them leaving the royal family. So why bother coming back to the place that they clearly didn't love that much?
It's so interesting. I was actually on that royal tour back in 2018, and the optics for us at that time, because we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, and to Tom Bauer's book, these are the claims that he's talking about. It's the lead up to Megxit. But for us as journalists and members of the public seeing that tour, it looked like a huge success. There were thousands of people greeting them everywhere. They were so popular at that time. It felt like this really huge moment for them and a really exciting moment for the monarchy. Now, as we know, that wasn't how they felt about it behind the scenes. And, 18 months later, they had left the royal family. So it is now 7 years on. They're going to be coming back to Australia, but the landscape for them could not be more different. So as I mentioned earlier, I have had sources telling me that it's about coming back here for, there's two main reasons that were mentioned to me. And one is Harry's connection with friends that he's cultivated over the years in Australia. He has a lot of close friends here, particularly in the military community. Then he'll be looking to work in that space while he's here. And also for Meghan, as I said, she's at a very important point in this lifestyle company that she's running and trying to build this empire, because she has now split with Netflix.